Everyone, welcome in week 3 recap. Obviously, this week was a heartbreaking loss. We lose to Sturgis Slot Lizards 155 to 145. So, very disappointing loss. But before we break it down, a couple housekeeping items. We made, or as we discussed last week, 2 waiver claims. Thought we'd at least get 1, got 0. So that was concerning out of the gate for us on Wednesday. Also, on Thursday before the 49ers and Giants kicked off, we did make the decision to cut Antonio Gibson in favor of Matt Breida because Saquon Barkley was out. So we'd seen enough from Gibson that we decided that it was time for him to be cut. We were shorthanded again this week. Aaron Jones out again for the Packers. So that put us behind the 8 ball, especially with the 2 waiver claims getting 0 and Aaron Jones being out. We were behind the 8 ball. But getting into our player performances, Trevor Lawrence again, terrible. It's starting to be a very concerning problem going forward. And we might have to turn to Mayfield at this point. They host the Texans. They get blown out by the Texans, the Jaguars, that is. And Trevor Lawrence, garbage time to somewhat save the points. Pathetic, really. Mayfield could be in play this coming week. Herbert was great against the Vikings. He went over projected. No problems there. Jamar Chase. Finally, we have a pulse from him. After 2 pathetic weeks, he played great last night. Couldn't ask more from him. But, of course, as soon as Jamar Chase elevates his play, Devonta Smith drops off. Absolutely gut-wrenching from him after a great first 2 weeks. Alexander Mattison, good bounce-back game after the damn fumble against the Eagles. Overprojected. And then Jake Ferguson in tight end slot. We decided to go with him this week over Tyler Higbee. Ended up being an okay decision, but as far as tight ends go, especially in a losing effort, we'll take it from Ferguson. And now here we get to the bad part. Assistant coaches. And I went over it, especially our running back situation. We went over it for several hours this week, and we fell back into the trap again. Starting Tyler Algier, terrible against the Lions. We have these assistant coaches that are supposed to assist you, and we get no help. Ultimately, it is my decision. But we get no help from the assistant coaches. So we play Algier. Oh, just terrible. And then Evan McPherson, our kicker, huge night last night. Couldn't ask for more after his first 2 middling weeks. Jets defense, terrible against the Patriots, despite only giving up 15 points. Couldn't get a sack, couldn't get a turnover, couldn't get anything going. And they have the Chiefs next week, so probably going in a different direction if we're going to be really honest here. And then back to our coaching staff. Changes could be coming fairly quickly if these trends keep up. Should have started Dameon Pierce, first touchdown of the season, against the Jags, who actually had a pretty good run defense to start the season. And then even Matt Breida, who we picked up and decided not to start because they were playing at the 49ers. But even he would have finished with higher points than Tyler Algier. So it's really disappointing. And it is heartbreaking We asked the players this week to step up, especially after how things went last week. And then the coaching staff screws us. So it's pissing me off here. Unfortunately, despite our performances, and this is not to make an excuse, but the Sturgis Lot Lizards had 5 players have season highs against us, really demoralizing. Just to go over it, St. Brown, Amari Cooper, Pacheco, and Sturgis Lot Lizards was even without Austin Eckler this week. Pacheco season high, Lions defense, and he leaves Evan Engram on the bench. And we played great, but they played better, so we got to give credit where credit is due. But, of course, season highs for those players. And we receive our recap from Yahoo this morning, and would you believe the letter grades are still in a blender? Just terrible stuff. This week, we were projected 129, and we finished with 145, which is only good enough for a C-, apparently. Meanwhile, Sturgis Lot Lizards, forget their projected off the top of my head, they finished 155, which is good enough for an A. So 10 points makes a difference between a C- and an A. Are you fucking kidding me, Yahoo? This has got to stop. And no response on the emails either. Reaching out, nothing. Then we get the final word report back. And in the final report, the author used words such as crushed, dominates, and no chance of a comeback, describing this week's matchup between You Like That and the Sturgis Lot Lizards. I don't know how a 10-point loss justifies the words like crushed, dominated, no chance of a comeback coming into Monday night, despite only losing by 10. It's really just pathetic with Yahoo, and next season we could be going a different direction. The host is just, it's starting to get to us here. Absolutely pathetic from Yahoo. They need to be better, and our coaching staff needs to be better. But to wrap things up, we had a great display of karma displayed. Manager of Cleveland Steamers popping off after last week, and guess what? They get 200 bombed by the 12th place team in the league. So you've been served, Wayne. Suck on that. Coming into the next week, the Packers play on Thursday. So, of course, Aaron Jones with the injury on a short week. Didn't practice today. Probably not going to be playing on Thursday. So we'll be shorthanded again at running back. One more waiver claim we've applied for. And our depth wide receiver, Jackson Smith, JSN, probably going to be cut as well. So we'll have that discussion with him probably later on this evening, early tomorrow. But more than likely, he is gone. And then we also removed Aaron Jones from the injured list so we could place that waiver claim. And in doing so, we did have to cut Matt Breida, who we added last week. So that's great, isn't it? I'm not taking any damn questions.